Welcome students, welcome for the GATE class. Today here Professor R. Surendran from Government College of Technology. So we are going to discuss about the metal cutting and machining operations. So for this entire week we are going to discuss the metal cutting and machining operations. So this is the first class. So here what we are going to discuss is, we are discussing the concepts regarding the metal machining operation and metal cutting operations. So in metal machining, how the product are made, it is a subtractive manufacturing operation. So we are removing some of the unwanted materials to form the perfect shape. So our aim is, in manufacturing, what we are doing, we are converting the raw material into the finished product. So the raw material is converted into the finished product. For that we are removing some material. So it is a subtractive operation process. So in metal machining we need workpiece and a tool. So these are the two things we are need to get the perfect shape. So with the help of tool we are removing the material to get the desired shape. So in first we are discussing about the metal cutting operation. In metal cutting operations, the first thing is how the metal is removed. So when the metal is removed from the raw material, it can be called as chips. So these chips we are going to discuss the types of chips. Based on the type of the material, we can get different types of chips. So what are the material we are having? Yes, we are having ductile material and brittle material. So this ductile material will produce the continuous chips. So they will produce the continuous chips. The brittle material produce the discontinuous chips. And some more chips is there. It is the continuous chips with built up edge. So these are the different types of chips that are produced from the work material. So we have to know the principles of metal cutting. We have to work on the principles of metal cutting. In metal cutting, so how the metal is removed. So we should know about the chip thickness, uncut chip thickness and chip thickness. So these are some of the terms we should be remembered for the metal cutting operation. So we should know about the uncut chip thickness and chip thickness, and there is a common parameter is there, which is the chip thickness ratio. Chip thickness ratio is the ratio of uncut chip thickness and chip thickness. And we should know about the, in GATE point of view, we are getting problems relevant to the merchant circle. So merchant circle is a circle which is developed for the orthogonal cutting operations. So with the help of merchant circle, we are going to calculate the force relationship. We should find the different forces. So why the forces are needed? To calculate the power. The power can be calculated by the product of force and velocity. When you combine the force with velocity, we can get the power. So we are going to do the power calculation also. So force calculation, power calculation, and one more thing. In metal cutting, the important formula is Taylor tool life equation. We are finding the tool life. So when you are using the tool, so how much time it can be used. So that has to be found out by Taylor tool life equation. So that is the next thing we are going to learn, Taylor tool life equations. So after that we should know the economics of machining. So how the machining can be improved. With the help of, that is a correct parameter is there, it is the machinability. It is the ease with which the machining take place, that can be called as machinability. So these are the certain things we are discussed in the metal cutting. The next thing, we should know about the machines. The machines, the father of the machine tool is the lathe. So first we have to discuss the lathe, and after that we should move to the drilling machine. The drilling machines can be used for hole making operations. So we are having several hole making operations. So what do you mean? What you can be called the drilling? Drilling is the hole making operation. When the hole is finished, it can be called as reaming. So we have to study about the drilling, reaming. When the hole is enlarged, it can be called as boring. So we have to know about the boring. After that, we can know about the tapping. Tapping is the thread making in the holes. So these are the process in drilling. By using the drilling machines, we can do this process. Next is milling. In the milling machines, we can get the contour. We can get the contour. So we have the different contour. The keyways can be produced, slot can be produced. So we are having the contours produced can be contour producing operation is the milling. So there are several categories, up milling and down milling is there. So we are having these things. After that, we should know about the broaching. Broaching is the tool. By the reciprocating operations, we can produce the different contours. Similarly, we can go for gear making operation. This gear making operations can be obtained by different method. It is gear forming operations and the gear generating operations, that is the gear hobbing, and the gear shaping operations. So these are the things in which the gears can be manufactured. The gears can be manufactured with the help of these process. And plane surface. The plane surface operations are shapers, planers, and slotters. So these are the things which has to be covered in the entire 5 days class. So the topic we are going to see is metal cutting and machining. Myself, Professor R. Surendran, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Government College of Technology, Coimbatore. So in the metal cutting operations, the first thing we are going to know is, we have to know about how the metal is removed. So first we have to know the thing, how the metal is removed. So this is the machined surface. So here we are having tool. So this is the chips. So this is the wedge cutting tool. This is the shear plane. Okay. So we are having, you can see the diagram. This is the machined surface. This is the machined surface. After machining, this surface can be produced. So this one is the chip, which is removed from the workpiece, and we are having the wedge tool is here. So this is the basic diagram. By using the wedge principle, we are found out in these things, and you can, this region is called as uncut chip thickness. This one T, it is notated by T. T is the uncut chip thickness, and this one is it is TC. It is chip thickness. So we are having two variables, students. The first one is uncut chip thickness. Uncut chip thickness is notated as T. Uncut chip thickness is noted as T, yes, and chip thickness is noted as TC. So we are having these two variables. By using these two variables, we are making one new introduction. It is called as chip thickness ratio. This is notated as R. Chip thickness ratio is notated as R. Chip thickness ratio is noted as R. It is a ratio of T by TC. It is a ratio of T by TC. What we can say? It is a ratio of uncut chip thickness into chip thickness. So when we are having two variables, it has to be compared. As an engineer, when we are having two variables, it has to be compared. So we are comparing and found out that T is less than TC. T is less than TC. When T is less than TC, obviously R should be less than 1. So in metal cutting operations, in ortho cutting, this R should be less than 1. For ideal condition, in some cases, they may be assumed as R equal to 1. For some of the cases, they will mention the problem r equal to 1. So, this is the first term I want to introduce to you. So, what is that? It is chip thickness ratio. The next term is we are going to discuss is it is inverse. Whatever maybe the variable is there, we have to inverse and name it. So, that inverse of the chip thickness ratio, inverse of the chip thickness ratio is notated as, inverse of the chip thickness ratio is notated as chip reduction coefficient. We can call it as chip reduction coefficient, chip reduction coefficient. So, this is a thing we can know, chip reduction coefficient. Chip reduction coefficient is nothing but it is the inverse of the, it is the inverse of the chip thickness ratio, it is the inverse of the chip thickness ratio. So, these are the two variables we have to calculate during the metal cutting. Next, we should know about the two angles. The first angle I want to introduce is rake angle. We can measure the rake angle, we have to draw the vertical line. We have to draw the vertical line which touch the tool tip point. So, this is the point it is touching. I call it as name O. So, I am going to measure the angle. This angle is called as rake angle. That rake angle can be notated as alpha. Alpha is nothing but rake angle. So, it is the angle between the vertical line to the top face. This is the, it is the angle between the these rake face and the vertical line. That is the alpha is the rake angle. The next angle I am going to introduce is, it is the shear angle. It can be called as pi. Shear angle can be called as pi. Now, we are having the relation between the shear angle and the rake angle. So, that formula can be repeatedly asked in the gate. So, that formula is tan pi equal to r cos alpha divided by 1 minus r sin alpha. So, this is the thing. So, this formula is significant in the gate exam. So, it is equal to tan pi equal to r cos alpha divided by 1 minus r sin alpha. So, when we know the r, that is chip thickness ratio, when we know the rake angle, we can calculate the pi. So, if you know these two things, you can calculate the pi. So, in that way this formula can be used. So, next formula we are going to introduce is, it is the shear strain, the shear strain. So, we can introduce the next formula, it is shear strain. Okay. So, in shear strain we are having cot pi minus alpha plus tan phi. When you know the alpha and pi, you can easily find out the shear strain rate. So, you are using for shear angle and shear strain rate, you are having the two formulas. Now, we will solve some problems by using these two formulas. We are going to solve one problem which is the orthogonal turning problem. So, we are having two types of cutting, one is orthogonal cutting and oblique cutting. In orthogonal cutting, the cutting edge is perpendicular to the cutting surface, in oblique cutting it is inclined. So, in the orthogonal turning problem, we are having alpha equal to 5 degree and it is a rotational speed n equal to 400 rpm and the feed is 0.4 meter per minute and depth of cut is 5 millimeter, chip thickness is 3 mm, they are going to ask shear angle. So, how we are going to proceed this question? So, we know that our formula is tan pi equal to r cos alpha divided by 1 minus r sin alpha. This formula we know that very well. So, in this formula we know the alpha. So, alpha, as per the alpha we can find out it is 5 degree. So, there we have to know about the r. R we should know that r is equal to T by Tc. In that Tc is given which is 3 mm. And only one thing is unknown, that is chip thickness. So chip thickness can be calculated, it is not given in the formula, but instead of that feed is given. That feed is given in, it is 0.4 meter per minute, but we want feed in millimeter per revolutions. So for meter we convert into millimeter, we have to multiply 1000. To get the millimeter per revolution we have to divide it by the RPM. So meter per minute by revolution per minute. So minute get cancelled, so millimeter per revolution will come. So instead of T you can use the feed in by millimeter per revolution. So you can get the answer. So you can find out the answer and make a note. So this is the one type of problem you can get in the exam. So in that they may not give the chip thickness, they will give the feed, that too in the meter per minute. So we have to convert by millimeter per revolution, then only it can be used for the uncut chip thickness. Next problem we are going to see is, we are having the orthogonal turning, the same orthogonal turning. Here chip thickness is given, it is equal to 0.5 mm, but rake angle is 0 degree, alpha equal to 0 degree, and feed per revolution is given. It is feed per revolution is directly given. In the previous problem they give the feed per minute, here feed per revolution, so that is equal to 0.2 mm per revolution. They are asking the shear strain. We know the shear strain formula, cot pi plus tan pi minus alpha. So to find out the shear strain we know the pi and alpha. Alpha is given in the problem, but pi we have to find out. For to calculate the pi we have to know the chip thickness ratio R equal to T by Tc. So T by Tc equal to 0.2 by 0.5, we can get 2 by 5, that is equal to 0.4. Tan pi equal to R cos alpha divided by 1 minus R sin alpha. Here alpha equal to 0 degree, therefore we can get tan pi equal to R. Therefore tan pi equal to R, that is equal to 0.4. We can substitute we can simplify the formula, that is cot pi plus tan phi minus alpha equal to 1 plus tan square phi divided by tan phi. We know the value of tan phi value, that is 0.4. When you substitute you can get 2.9. The shear strain is 2.9. Next, there is a beautiful problem which has to be calculated, shear strain rate. In previous problem we had calculated shear strain, now we are moving to the shear strain rate. So it is one of the peculiar problem which may be expected in the GATE exam. So the following data are given. What are the data given? It is R, chip thickness ratio equal to 0.4 and the chip thickness equal to 0.6, alpha equal to rake angle equal to 10 degree, and cutting velocity that may be represented as V, that is 2.5 meter per second. We are converting into 2500 millimeter per second, and it is a mean thickness of the shear zone which may be mentioned in the microns, 25 microns. So we have to find out the shear angle. The shear angle formula is tan pi equal to R cos alpha divided by 1 minus R sin alpha. We know the value of R, that is equal to 0.4. We know the value of alpha, that is equal to 10 degree. When you substitute this value, you can get pi equal to 22.94. So we are having the formula for shear strain rate, epsilon suffix s equal to cos alpha divided by cos pi minus alpha into open the bracket cutting velocity by mean thickness, mean shear thickness. So when you substitute all the values, you can get 1.0104 into 10 to the power of 5 per second. So shear strain rate unit is per second. Thank you. We are going to see a fine concept which is the Taylor tool life equation. So we are having the equation Vt power n equal to constant. So we are having 4 variables. So in 4 variables, 2 things are constant, only 2 variables are related in the Taylor tool life equation, which was found out by the Taylor, hence it is called Taylor tool life equation. So here cutting velocity is related to the tool life. So cutting velocity is inversely related to the tool life. You can, so V into T constant means it is inversely related. So T to the power of n, that n is nothing but it is the exponential constant, C is the measurability constant. So Vt power n equal to C is the Taylor tool life equation. For different material we have different exponential constant, and the measurability constant depends on the measurability parameters, depth, such as depth of cut, feed. We are going to solve one problem related to the Taylor tool life equation. So, Taylor tool life equation, we know that Vt power n equal to constant. So, in this problem, diameter, it is a drilling problem. In this, diameter of the hole is given and the depth has to be cut from in the hole is given. It is 50 mm, diameter of hole is 10 mm and revolution speed is given. It is 600 rpm and the feed is 0.2 mm per revolution. So, we are having point angle, in drill bit point angle is there, point angle is 120 degree. So, we are having approach, we should find out the approach. What do you mean by approach means? So, when you have the workpiece here, so it has to enter after certain distance. So, this is the approach. So, this approach is equal to 0.3 d, 0.3 times of diameter. We are calculating, it is 3 into 0.3 into 10 means it is 3 mm. So, the total depth can be calculated as thickness plus approach. Thickness is 50 and the approach is 53 mm. So, first of all we are going to find out the time per hole. So, to cut a one hole, what is the time required? So, it is L by F into N. This L is 53, that is T plus approach, and feed is given in the problem, that is 0.2, and N is given in the problem, it is 600 rpm. This feed is millimeter per revolution into revolution per minute means this denominator value will come as a millimeter per minute. So, millimeter divided by millimeter per minute we can get in terms of minute, that is equal to 0.442 minutes. So, this is the time required to cut one hole, but number of holes cut by the single tool is given in the problem, it is 200. So, total tool life can be found out by 200 into single hole. So, it is 88.33 minutes, 88.33 minutes. So, we are having the cutting velocity formula. Cutting velocity formula is pi d n by 1000. When we substitute the value diameter and n, you can get 18.84 meter per minute. That is the thing. So, we are having Vt power n equal to constant is our Taylor tool life equation. So, we are substituting 18.84 into, this is the total tool life. You should remember that here, you should not make the mistake, this is the total tool life. So, when you substitute you can find the C. C is nothing but Taylor tool life measurability constant. So, it is 72.26. It is the Taylor tool life measurability constant. In this problem, we are able to find out the measuring time of the single hole and we are found out the measuring constant for the Taylor tool life equation. Having the orthogonal cutting problem. So, here the two different forces are given, cutting force and this is a thrust force. So, the rake angle is 0 degree, it is special case. Cutting velocity is 1 meter per second and depth of cut is 0.8 mm and chip thickness is 1.5 mm. So, we are having this value. So, we are going to calculate the value of beta. Beta is the friction angle. So, they told that alpha is 0, therefore, tan beta minus alpha equal to Ft by Fc and alpha equal to 0 means tan beta equal to Ft by Fc. How it happens means here alpha equal to 0. You should remember one thing, that is this thrust force is less than that of cutting force. Our force used for cutting is cutting force. So, thrust force is the irrelevant force. So, it should be always less. It is the younger brother. So, our elder brother is cutting force. So, when you get the ratio, you can find out the friction angle. Friction angle is nothing but it is beta. Beta equal to 22.62 degree. So, next we are going to find out the chip thickness ratio. Chip thickness ratio is the ratio of uncut chip thickness to the top chip thickness. So, here chip thickness is given in the problem, but uncut chip thickness is not given in the problem. Instead of that, they are providing the depth of cut value. So, we can take depth of cut as uncut chip thickness, that is 0.8 by 1.5. We can get chip thickness ratio as 0.533. And for chip thickness ratio, it is also the ratio of chip flow velocity to the top cutting velocity. It is the ratio of chip flow velocity to the top cutting velocity. Here also you can remember that chip flow velocity is lesser than the top cutting velocity. So we are going to find out the chip flow velocity. Chip flow velocity is the product of chip thickness ratio and cutting velocity. The cutting velocity is given as a unit 1 meter per second. So when you multiply, we can get chip flow velocity is 0.533. Now we are going to discuss about the American Standard Association of representing the tool nomenclature. In tool nomenclature, we are having 7 terms. So we should know about the position of the 7 terms. In the first term, it will be the back rake angle. The next term will be the side rake angle. The third term is the end clearance angle or end relief angle. The fourth one is the side clearance angle or side relief angle. The fifth one is end cutting edge angle. The next one is side cutting edge angle. The seventh, the last term is very significant, which is expected in the most of the exam, which is nose radius. So seventh letter is the nose radius. So from the 7 letters, we have to find out these angle: back rake angle, side rake angle, end clearance angle, side clearance angle, and end cutting edge angle, side cutting edge angle, and nose radius. So they will give the 7-letter code. In the 7-letter code, the different angles are mentioned. We have to identify which one is exactly matched with the correct thing. Yes, we are going to see about the orthogonal rake system. So previously we have seen the American Standard Association system. That is the one form of tool nomenclature. The tool may be designated in the 2 different nomenclature. One is American Standard Association. This one is orthogonal rake system. In orthogonal rake system, similarly as per that of American Standard Association, we are having 7 terms. The first one is tool inclination angle. The second one is orthogonal rake angle. The next one is orthogonal clearance angle. After that, we are having axillary orthogonal clearance angle. Next, auxiliary cutting edge angle. That is the 5th term. Principal cutting edge angle is the 6th term. And the last term is nose radius. The only common thing in ASA and ORS is the 7th term is always nose radius. So it is, we are having one example: 0 degree, -7 degree, 10 degree, 8 degree, 15 degree, 60 degree, 0.8 means the nose radius is 0.8 mm. The tool inclination angle is 0 degree. So in that way we can remember. We are having a sharp cutting edge tool. In that, in this problem, there are 3 variables are provided. One is side cutting edge angle is 30 degree and end cutting edge angle is 10 degree and the feed is 1 mm per revolution. And they have mentioned that nose radius is neglected. In even some problem, they won't mention nose radius is neglected. They want to calculate peak to valley height. So in the surface roughness, we are always measure the height from the peak to valley. What is that peak to valley? So we are having the surface. When you look into the microscope, this is the peak and this one is the root, peak valley. This one is the valley point and this one is the peak point. So this is the peak to valley point. So we are going to calculate the maximum peak to valley point. Maximum peak to valley point, height of the surface roughness has to be calculated. So for that, it is a ratio of feed to the top tan of angle, side cutting edge angle, and cot of end cutting edge angle. So when you substitute all these 3 values, you can get the value in mm. It is 0.16 mm. So it is a simple question, but we should know the formula, and you should for which thing the tan will come. So it is TS. So you can remember in the alphabet it is ST. So T and S will be come closely, and see here you can see CE. So in the ABCDE you can see an ER, it is nearby letter. So based on the some mnemonic codes you can remember the formula. So therefore this height H max equal to F by tan side cutting edge angle and cot end cutting edge angle. It is orthogonal cutting problem. We are it is tool nomenclature as represented in the orthogonal rake system. So it is 0, 10, minus 0, 10, 7, 7, 10, 75 and 1. So it is the 7 letter, 7 numerals nomenclature. So we have to find out that 10 is the rake angle and B is the width of the thing and 3.6 mm. The depth of cut is 0.2. This depth of cut is equal to uncut chip thickness. So we are mentioning as T and mu is given in the problem, it is 0.7 and beta is 35 degree. So we can obtain it is tan inverse of mu is the beta. Beta is nothing but it is tan inverse of mu. So in that way we can calculate the beta. So after tau is given in the problem and to apply the minimum force, the merchant assumed that 2 pi plus beta minus alpha equal to 90 degree. When you substitute alpha and beta, you can get the pi, where pi is the shear angle. This is the assumption, 2 pi plus beta minus alpha equal to 90 degree is the important merchant assumption. Why engineers or scientists are made some assumption means to convert complex problem into simple problem. So this is the shear force formula. For shear force, it is a product of shear stress into area. So this is the base area, so we have to divide by the sin pi. So Fs equal to, we can get 770 Newton. When you substitute the shear stress value, it is available here. When you substitute the shear stress value and area, for area you have to calculate A naught equal to B into T. Okay, this B is given, T is given, so we can easily calculate the B into T. So then we are having the relations, relation between the cutting force and shear force. Relation between the cutting force and shear force. This cutting force is related with the angle beta minus alpha. Shear force is related with the angle pi plus beta minus alpha. Both are cos. So you can easily remember both are cos. So you can remember cutting force only 2 angles, shear force 3 angles. Like that you have to remember cutting only 2, shear for shear we need 3. So here beta minus alpha, here only 5 will come. So by equating these two relations, we can calculate cutting force because shear force and all the values are known. You should remember the power. Power is nothing but the product of force and velocity can be called as power. Whenever force combined with the velocity, it is a power because force has the unit Newton, velocity has unit meter per second. So Newton meter per second. So Newton meter per second means 3.25 kilowatt. It is a power calculated. Yes, we are having single point cutting tool here. Our single point cutting tool nose radius is 0.4 mm and it has the speed of 0.3 mm per revolution. So we should know the peak to valley height h equal to f square by 8r. Here the question is when the feed is increased by 2 times, what happened to the h? So here we should know that h is proportional to f square. So when you increase feed 2 times, 2 square is 4 times. Height is increased by 4 times. This is the question asked. We may get another type of question also. H is inversely proportional to nose radius. So when you increase the nose radius 2 times, what happens? H peak to valley height will decrease by 2 times because both are inversely related. Both are inversely related. So when one variable increase, other value will decrease. So this is the important formula. Here that they don't ask the value. They ask about the factor. How many times it has increased. So when feed is increased 2 times, h is increased by 4 times. Similarly, when nose radius increased by 2 times, h will be decreased by 2 times. Next. Next question we are going to see about is milling cutter. So in milling cutter, we should have know the diameter is given. It is 125 mm and Z is given. Z is number of teeth in the cutter is 10 and velocity is given 14 meter per minute. Table transverse feed is given. It is 100 mm per minute. Table traverse speed is given. It is 100 mm per minute. They are asking feed per tooth. For that we should calculate n. It is the revolution per minute. So n equal to pi d n equal to pi d n by 1000 equal to v. Therefore n equal to v into 1000 divided by pi d. So when you substitute the value of velocity and diameter, we can get the RPM. It is 35.67 RPM. Yes,
After that we have to calculate feet per tooth. Feet equal to feet per tooth into n into z. So we have to calculate feet per tooth. So this n and z will come on denominator. So 100 by 35.67 into 10 we can get 0.25 mm per tooth. So this is the feed sum. This feed sum is important for the gate point of view and IES point of view. In all the competitive exam, milling cutter feed is important. Similar milling cutter problem only, but the data is Z is 8 teeth and F is 40 mm per minute and N is also given 100 RPM. So what they are asking, this is feed per minute. They are asking feed per tooth. So F equal to Z into FZ into N. So here the unknown parameter is feed per tooth, that is FZ. Remaining parameter get into other side, we can get feet per tooth is 0.05 mm per tooth. This is the important assumption in merchant, that is 2 pi plus beta minus alpha equal to 90 degree. Here pi is the shear angle, beta is the friction angle, alpha is the rake angle. So theoretically minimum possible shear strain condition. So minimum possible shear strain means beta equal to 0. So we can get 2 pi minus alpha equal to 90 degree. So we can get pi equal to 90 plus alpha by 2. It is a one data question. There alpha is given, pi will be asked. Alpha given, pi will be asked for the minimum shear strain condition. So automatically beta will be 0. Therefore we can get alpha is 12 degree, pi equal to 51 degree. It is a, when you substitute alpha equal to 12 degree, pi equal to 51 degree. Next is drilling machine design problem. So now we are going to come into the drilling machine design problem. So in the drilling machine design problem, it is the 8 spindle speed. So its range will be given. It has to be start from 120 RPM to 1200 RPM. So range will be given and how much variation will become, it also be given. So 8 spindle speed and the range will be given. They are asking 5th spindle speed. What they are asking? 5th spindle speed. So N minimum equal to 120 RPM, N max equal to 1200 RPM. So we are having this ratio. Speed change ratio is R to power of n minus 1 equal to n max by n minimum, that is 10. So this is n minus 1, 8 spindle speed means 8 minus 1, 7, R to power of 7 equal to 10. So we can get R value as 1.389, R equal to 1.389. They are asking 5th speed. So therefore n5 equal to n1 R to power of 4, because n minus 1, 5 minus 1 is 4. So n minimum, n1 is nothing but n minimum. We are substituting the n minimum and remaining values. We can get 5th speed as 447 RPM. Now we are going to discuss about the indexing. In indexing, we have to rotate the index crank. The index crank revolution can be calculated. They are given as index crank is revolute, it makes one complete revolution and 10 volts in the 30 volt circle. That means it has covered 1/3 of the revolution. First one complete revolution 360 degree and 1/3 of revolution 120 degree, totally 480 degree. So if it is makes one complete revolution and 10 volts in 30 volt circles means it makes the 480 degree. This is the thing how we are calculating the index crank movement. We are going to see about the cutting test. In cutting test, flank wear is given as 0.3 mm and the tool life is given as 10 minutes for the cutting velocity 20 meter per minute and the n value, exponential value, exponential constant value is 0.25. So for another set, for 40 meter per minute, what is the tool life? So So we know that Taylor two-life equation says that V t power n equal to constant. So V1 T1 power n equal to V2 T2 power n. So we know that T2 by T1 whole power n equal to V1 by V2. When n is getting to another side, T2 by T1 equal to V1 by V2 whole power 1 by n. So this is half times V1 by V2 equal to 1 by 2. 1 by 0.25 equal to power 4. So it is 16 times it will be reduced. So 10 by 16 equal to 0.625. So we are having two tools. We are having two tools. Two tools, among the two tools, which one we has to be selected. So that has to be decided from this given data. So what are the data available? Here feed is given and nose radius is given. So we know that to measure the height of the dissimilarity from peak to valley height can be calculated by the formula f square by 8r. By calculating f square by 8r for these two tools, we can get 8.33 micrometer and 3.78 micrometer. Surface finish means height of unevenness is less, means it should be preferable. We want good surface finish. So height of unevenness, peak to valley height should be minimum. So if it is maximum means it will be like this. If it is minimum means it will be like this. So when you observe in the microscope, so peak to valley height larger means the surface finish is poor. Peak to valley height is minimum means the surface finish is good. So we opt for tool B. Tool B is, we decided that tool B is better. It is a plain milling problem. So in plain milling problem, length of the workpiece is given as 200 millimeter and the diameter of the cutter is given as 100 millimeter. Number of teeth Z is 4 and revolution per minute is n, 100 rpm. Feed is given 200 millimeter per minute and it is a depth of cut. Depth of cut equal to, it is notated as small d, it is 2 mm. Clearance at entry and exit is 5 mm. So the average thickness is, average mean thickness is asked. So it is a T max plus T min by 2. Here it is T max, it is average, so it is T max by 2. The formula is F by N Z square root of small d by capital D. Small d is depth of cut, capital D is diameter of the cutter. When you substitute, we can get 71 mm for this problem. For the same problem, we have to calculate the approach. For approach, we are having the two formula, half into open the bracket d minus square root of d square minus d square, or we can simply calculate that square root of d into capital D minus small d. What is small d? It is depth of cut. What is capital D? It is diameter of the cutter. When you substitute, the value is 14 mm. These are the questions which are mostly expected in GATE because it is two data question. Only two data is needed to get the value. Now we are going to discuss about the minimum shear strain condition. In minimum shear strain condition, the formula is epsilon equal to cot phi plus tan phi minus alpha. For minimum shear strain, the rake angle is 0 degree. So alpha equal to 0 degree, so it can be neglected. So minimum strain formula will become cot phi plus tan phi. At 45 degree, the minimum shear strain occurs. So cot 45 equal to 1 and tan 45 also 1. So 1 plus 1 equal to 2. The minimum shear strain, we should know the three conditions. The rake angle is 0 degree and the pi is 45 degree and the minimum shear strain value is 2. Next, we are going to proceed with friction angle calculation. In friction angle calculation, what happened? Cutting force is given as 900 and the thrust force is 450. You can observe these two values. Always thrust force is less than that of cutting force and alpha rake angle is 5 degree. So mu is the coefficient of friction, it is equal to F by N. F is the frictional force, N is the normal to the frictional force. So you can remember this formula, this plus symbol will come at the top and minus symbol will come at the bottom. So we can easily identify if Fc is coming means, so when for C here it will be S. So that you should remember Fc sin alpha plus Ft cos alpha. Here it is reverse, for Fc cos alpha will come and Ft sin alpha will come. So it is negative. So we are getting after substituting the value, we are getting 0.614. So mu equal to tan beta, that is coefficient of friction equal to tangent of angle of friction. It is the basic engineering mechanics. So therefore beta equal to tan inverse mu. Therefore we are getting 31.5 degree. We are going to discuss about the merchant theory assumptions. When the assumptions are made to convert the complex problem into simple problem. Here the merchant made the assumption 2 pi plus beta minus alpha equal to 90 degree. Alpha value is given as 10 degree, which is rake angle. Pi value is given as 20 degree, which is shear angle. So they are asking about the friction angle. If you substitute this in this assumption, you can get beta equal to 60 degree. This is the nose radius problem, nose radius and feed. The relation between nose radius and feed is given by h equal to height of the unevenness equal to h equal to f square by 8r. So r is given, this nose radius is 1.8 mm, h is 5 microns, and h equal to f square by 8r. Therefore f equal to square root of 0.005. Why 0.005? It is the micron. So micron is converted into millimeter. This 8 is constant and 1.8 is millimeter. We are getting 0.268 millimeter per revolution. This is the relation between the tool life and flank wear. Tool life is always inversely proportional to the flank wear. And this flank wear is directly proportional to the cot alpha, where alpha is the clearance angle. In this problem, we are reducing the clearance from 10 degree to 7 degree. What happens? When you reduce the clearance, don't remember that tool life will be decreased. So how we are going to calculate? T is proportional to inversely proportional to cot alpha. Therefore T is proportional to tan alpha, where alpha is the angle, clearance angle. So T2 equal by T1 equal to tan alpha 2 by tan alpha 1, tan 7 degree by tan 10 degree, it is equal to 0.7. So therefore T2 equal to 0.7 times of T1. So therefore tool life is reduced by 30%. So when you reduce the clearance angle, tool life will be reduced by 30%. So here 10 to 7 degree, here 30%. Yes, we are going to discuss about one important condition which is very significant in metal cutting calculation. R equal to T by Tc. We know that chip thickness ratio is the ratio of uncut chip thickness to the top chip thickness. So when both are equal, that means uncut chip thickness and chip thickness both are equal. That is, there is no deformation while making chips. Therefore R equal to 1, chip thickness ratio will be 1. And at the ideal condition, alpha equal to 0 degree. When R equal to 1, alpha equal to 0 degree, you can get pi equal to 45 degree. These are the set of values you should remember. R equal to 1, alpha equal to 0 degree, pi equal to 45 degree. Among these things, any two variable will be given and one variable will be asked in the exam. It is very significant, and without solving this, there are some questions we have to answer without solving by remembering the conditions. Those questions are called condition based question. So here this condition is T equal to Tc, R equal to 1, alpha equal to 0 degree and pi equal to 45 degree. After substituting you can get the value, but there are these data are fixed. Next, shear angle calculation. This is the famous problem which may be repeated in all the competitive exam, which may be GATE or IES or ISRO like that. Alpha value is given 10 degree, R equal to 0.4. So when you substitute R equal to 0.4 and alpha equal to 10 degree, you can get pi equal to 22.94 degree. This is a shear angle calculation which is very significant for the examination point of view. As an engineer, we should work on the cost. Our cost should be minimum. Our profit should be maximum. So we are having two cases. So we have to make decision. What decision we have to take? We are having two cases. One is conventional lathe we are using, and another one is CNC lathe are using. We have to consider the total cost. We have to compare the total cost of conventional lathe and CNC lathe. So total cost is nothing but the sum of the fixed cost and the variable cost. So here the fixed cost is 30 and here fixed cost is 150. But in the variable cost, what are the thing we have to consider? Machining time should be considered, and the operator cost should be considered, and number of quantity should be considered. When you cumulatively multiply, you can get the variable cost. So for 100 quantity, what is the value obtained in the conventional lathe? It is rupees 3780. And here in conventional lathe, in CNC lathe it is 3150. So whichever is minimum, we have to select that. So we are having two different types of lathe. We are going to work some, give the input. So we have to take the decision, means you have to compare total cost, whichever is minimum, we have to take that. Machining time calculation is one of the important aspect in machining. So here machining time calculation, drilling time we are going to calculate, length of it has to drill is 25 mm or thickness is 25 mm, n equal to 300 rpm and f equal to 0.25 millimeter per revolution. So we have to calculate, so 25 divided by 0.25 into 300, you can get 0.333 minutes. So the same formula, L by Fn. This is a special problem. The same, here the shear angle is given and alpha value is also given. They ask chip thickness. So you have to convert into, before solving the problem you have to simplify. When you simplify, you can get a chip thickness equal to T into, open the bracket, cos alpha divided by tan pi plus sin alpha. So when you substitute alpha equal to 10 degree, pi equal to 27.75 degree given in the problem. So you can get 0.511 mm. This T equal to given, it is 0.25, TC is 0.511 mm. So compared to 0.25, it is 0.511 mm. It has increased. Whenever the chip is formed, the thickness will be increased. Next we are going to see about the feed-in thread cutting. Feed-in thread cutting can be noted as lead of thread, that is equal to number of start into pitch. So you should remember that lead is greater than that of pitch. So lead will be multiple times of pitch. So L equal to NP. So here number of start is double start thread. So pitch is 1 mm per revolution, then lead will be 2 mm per revolution. From the pitch, from the number of start of thread, we have to calculate the lead. Lead should be greater than the top pitch. So L equal to NP. P is the 1 mm per revolution. Lead is the 2 mm per revolution. Since it's a double start thread, it is 2 mm per revolution. Here we are going to see about the Ernst and Merchant theory. Their assumption is 2 pi plus beta minus alpha equal to 90 degree. We are substituting pi equal to 27.75, which is given the problem, alpha equal to 10 degree. Then we can calculate beta equal to 44.5 degree. The problem, coefficient of friction is asked, mu equal to tan beta, tan times of 44.5 equal to 0.98. You have to remember tan 45 equal to 1, so it is 0.5 is less, so it is 0.98. So it is closer to 1. We are going to calculate shaper machining time. In that, in the forward stroke, it has to cross the entire length, and in the starting and end, it has some approach. That value is 20, which is given the problem. So total length traveled in a shaper in the forward stroke is 600 plus 20 plus 20. 20 is at the entry, another 20 is at the rear, at the end. So totally 640. Total stroke we can find out by thickness of the flat plate by feed rate. So in that total stroke can be found out as 100. There are 100 stroke is needed. So total length traveled is stroke into at single stroke length. So 100 into 640, 64,000 mm. When it is converted into meter, it is 64 meter. Time of stroke is that total length traveled by forward velocity, that velocity it has forward velocity 8. So for forward motion it takes 8 minutes. So reverse motion we have to find out, it is in the ratio of 1:2. If it is forward 2 times means 8 minutes, reverse will be slow. So and it has to be, time of the return stroke will be, it will be quicker, because in return stroke there may be no cutting. So the return stroke is quicker. Forward stroke is, it go by slowly, so it takes 8 minutes. Return stroke 4 minutes. So it is in the ratio of 1:2. So total time is 12 minutes. So in this way shaper machining time can be calculated. We are having two tools whose side cutting edge angle and end cutting edge angle is given. So H equal to F by tan SEA and cot ECEA. SEA means side cutting edge angle. ECEA means end cutting edge angle. So this H is inversely related. So you can observe here H is inversely related. So the first tool has 30 and 8, the second tool has 15 and 8. So 15 and 8 will come under the numerator, 30 and 8 will come under the denominator. It is inverse, it is reversed, so the value may be inversely related. It is a merchant circle problem where friction force is calculated. Friction force plus will come, you should remember. Fc sin alpha plus Ft cos alpha. So when you substitute the value, Fc is 1200 given in the problem, alpha value 15 degree. So we can get 3.8 Newton. It is nothing but frictional force. And we should know that velocity relation Vc by V equal to sin pi by cos pi minus alpha. Therefore, Vc equal to 0.713 times of V. That V is not given. So we are taking Vc in terms of V. So power, the total power supplied is cutting force into velocity. It is cutting velocity. This V is cutting velocity. So V is not given. So Fc we already found out. Fc which is given in the problem 1200. So power, total power is 1200 V. And frictional force power is F into Vc. 503.8 into Vc in terms of V we are substituting. We are getting 359.21 V. So what is the amount of energy dissipated? So it is the ratio of frictional power by total power into 100. While we calculating, it is 30%. Here we are having the metal cutting problem. Feed is given, it is 0.24 mm per revolution, and the chip thickness is given 0.48. So principal cutting edge angle is given. Principal cutting edge angle is, it is closer to the 90 degree, alpha equal to 0 degree. We should know that T equal to F sin psi. Psi is the principal cutting edge angle. It is 90 degree. So sin 90 equal to 1. Therefore T equal to F. Whenever T equal to F means we should remember that principal cutting edge angle is 90 degree. Therefore R equal to T by Tc. We can calculate it is equal to 0.5. Alpha equal to 0 degree. Tan inverse of 0.5 equal to 26.56. Tan inverse of 0.5 equal to 26.56. Here we are having the beautiful problem. Cutting force is given 1000 Newton, thrust force is given 800 Newton. The special case is alpha equal to 0 degree and pi equal to 25 degree. Alpha equal to 0 degree means this mu, coefficient of friction, equal to F by N. This F by N is equal to Ft by Fc. Therefore 800 by 1000 it is equal to 0.8. So it is a special case when alpha equal to 0, mu equal to Ft by Fc. So we are having two tools. One is tool with sharp edge, tool with nose radius. Tool with nose radius, we are using the height of the unevenness formula F square by 8R. We substitute the value 4 mm, and in tool with sharp edge, we have to use F by tan side cutting edge angle plus cot end cutting edge angle, that is equal to 0.012 after substituting the value. While comparing these two values, the first one is lesser. So among these two tools, we have to select one, means we have to select the first tool. This is the metal cutting problem. Alpha equal to 15 degree, pi equal to 45 degree, cutting velocity equal to 35 meter per minute. So these are the given data. They are asking about the shear angle, and the shear angle is given 45 degree. So R equal to 0.186. Pi given, alpha given, we can find out the R, that is equal to R equal to 0.816. R is the ratio of chip velocity to that of cutting velocity. So from that chip velocity equal to R times of cutting velocity, that is equal to 28.58 meter per minute. This is a shaper problem. We are having the shaper problem. In shaper problem, we should calculate the average cutting velocity of the shaper. That is equal to Ln, open the bracket, 1 plus m, where L is the stroke length, N is the number of double stroke, m is the quick return ratio. So in this problem, quick return ratio is given as 0.6, and number of double stroke means forward stroke and return stroke, that is a double stroke. 30, stroke length is 250. When you product all these three values, you can get 12 meter per minute. Good evening, students. Today's session has ended, and we will continue tomorrow. You have to solve all the problems and practice whatever may be the doubt. You can ask it, and we will make the WhatsApp group. In the WhatsApp group also we will be discussed the concept. So it is for our subject only, that is metal cutting and machining. Each faculty will handle in their own way. So we will discuss
through WhatsApp. So I will permit my students always to discuss through WhatsApp and clarify the doubts. So we will solve more questions. All the best. Cheers.